right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. We're just a few days away now from the 2021 Chicago Pro. And a lot of the top competitors are posting physique updates, so let's get right into that here and give kind of a preview for the Chicago Pro that's coming up this weekend. So first off, Hunter Labrada, obviously the son of Lee Labrada. He won the Tampa Pro last year, took 8th place at the 2020 Mr. Olympia, his first Olympia ever. And in my opinion, he's a really exciting young prospect in bodybuilding right now because he is so new, he is so young, and he's already so good. Being so new to the game and beating some of the names that he's already beaten in the IFBB, I think is tremendously impressive. And again, just considering how new he is, I think a lot of people, myself included, were very impressed by what we saw from Hunter last year. Now, Hunter, just days away from the Chicago Pro, looks extremely impressive. The physique updates that Hunter posted today, which again, just days out from the Chicago Pro. What more can I say besides this guy looks ready? He looks extremely impressive. He looks like he's in shape. And one thing that I'm really excited to see is a comparison that we have not yet seen is going to be Hunter versus Roelly. We know now that Roelly Winklaar is doing the Chicago Pro. And I'm assuming you're going to see a call-out that has both Hunter and Roelly. And I'm really excited to see that comparison. Like I said, could you guys imagine if Hunter Labrada, being so new, so young, what if somehow he were able to beat Roelly at this Chicago Pro? How huge that would be for Hunter and the momentum it would give him going into the Olympia. Because I would assume if he did beat Roelly, that would mean he's winning the Chicago Pro, and that would mean he's going to the Olympia off a Chicago Pro win. Now, one of the criticisms that I've seen of both Roelly and Hunter is the same. I've seen people criticize their back development. So you could make an argument that the weak point that a lot of people like to point out with both these guys is their back. And they share a lot of common strong points. I think one of Hunter's strong points is his arms. Obviously, one of Roelly's strong points is his arms. I just think there's some similarities to be drawn there. And I think there is some potential for that call-out to be a really interesting one and that comparison to be possibly a very favorable one for Hunter. I think a lot of people might be assuming this is going to be an easy win for Roelly and an easy Olympic qualification, but you guys saw the list. You got Max Charles. You've got Hunter Labrada, you got Hassan Mustafa, you got Roelly Winklaar. There's some guys in there that could give Roelly some trouble depending on what shape they're in and what shape Roelly's in. So that's the first story. Hunter Labrada physique update. I think he looks fantastic, and I think a lot of people are excited to see what he's going to bring to the stage this weekend in Chicago. Now, Roelly Winklaar, he hasn't really posted any physique updates, but Roelly has been tagged in some pictures. He's in the States right now on this Instagram page, Madhouse Gym, Georgia. Roelly is apparently in Georgia, or was in Georgia at the time these pictures were taken, right before the Chicago Pro. These are, in fact, recent pictures. The caption there says, "Thank you to Roelly Winklaar and Hector Mendoza, my guy, for coming to take some videos and photos and being so awesome, taking some time with our members. Roelly likes our gym and wants to come back. We're preparing an apartment just in case." But look at the size of Roelly's arm in this first picture. The other pictures, you can't really see that much of Roelly. He's kind of wearing a hoodie and a T-shirt in the other ones, but just look at the size of Roelly Winklaar. I think a lot of people, and again, I got to say, myself included, can't wait to see Roelly back on stage. We didn't get to see him at last year's Olympia. We didn't get to see him really much at all last year. And conversations about bodybuilding and bodybuilding shows just don't seem the same without Roelly's name in that conversation. So I got to say, it feels good to have his name back in that mix. I think a lot of people, at risk of repeating myself, cannot wait to see Roelly on stage this weekend. I think he's going to do very well. But again, I don't think it's going to be an easy win for Roelly. Max Charles is looking good. Hassan has potential if he's able to come in shape. And I got to say, I think Hunter Labrada right now is the biggest threat to Roelly in that lineup. And I think it could be a really interesting battle between the two of them. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Now, speaking of physique updates, William the Conqueror Bonac, preparing to defend his title at this year's Arnold Classic. Obviously, he won last year's title. He's going into this lineup looking to crush somebody's dreams. I mean, this year we know that the Arnold Classic, only the winner is going to the 2021 Mr. Olympia. William Bonac, of course, already qualified for this year's Mr. Olympia. So William's looking to come in and get that win. And like I said, crush somebody's dreams that's going to be in that lineup, hoping to qualify for the Olympia with that Arnold Classic win. And William's looking to take it from him. In the recent physique update from William, this most muscular here, his caption is, "You can be touched," with a crown emoji. I got to say, William, he's looking pretty good. And granted, to be fair, physique updates don't really mean a whole lot at this point. At this far out from the Arnold Classic, we're really not going to learn much about how these guys are going to look on the day of the show, but it just does give you guys kind of a benchmark of how these guys are looking. And William, to be fair, is really one of the few guys that is really posting a lot of physique updates that's in the Arnold Classic lineup. And the fact that he's one of the top guys and one of the favorites to win, I think makes it even more. I think the fans are pretty appreciative of that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. When it comes to the 2021 Arnold Classic coming up in September, will William be able to defend his crown, or will there be a new champion? What are your guys' Arnold Classic predictions for this year? Of course, I'm going to do an Arnold Classic prediction video and an Olympia prediction video as we get closer to each of those two shows. So you guys can plan on that and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see that. And also, make sure you guys click that bell notification button. I feel like I don't say that enough. If you guys want to catch my videos as soon as they come out, get a notification, click that bell. Now, next up in the news, let's pivot to the strict curl. This was an interesting one. You've seen two guys, one curl before. You've seen it with Chris Bumstead and Callum Von Moger. You've seen them do a cheat curl. I forget, what was it, 405 when Callum tore his bicep. What would you call that, a tandem curl? Two guys, one curl. I like two guys, one curl. But Jujimufu and the arm wrestler monster Michael Todd replicated the tandem curl, the two guys, one curl, but they did it strict. And they did 330 pounds, which is the equivalent of 150 kilograms. So they did it actually back up against the wall. And I thought it was interesting, and I thought it was actually kind of smart, but maybe it was kind of necessary. The thing that I noticed was Jujimufu standing on a little bit of a platform there to make sure their arms were even, because he's a little bit shorter than Michael Todd, just to make sure the curl went a little bit smoother. And I thought that was actually smart, but, you know, like I said, maybe it was kind of necessary. I don't know. I just noticed it. But anyway, I wanted to know about this too. What do you guys think about the tandem curl, the tag team curl, the two guys, one curl bar? Do you think it's stupid, or do you think it's cool? Because every time I see someone do this, on one hand, I'm entertained. I think, wow, that's kind of impressive. On the other hand, I think I'm entertained because I'm like, wow, that's kind of dangerous. I don't want to see someone tear a bicep again. Not another Callum Von Moger. Now, the final story I want to talk about today, Raging Silverback. Chris Hester posted a physique update. He is 6 weeks and 2 days out of the NPC North Americans. Now, Chris Hester is a guy, I would say, in the amateur ranks right now, for a guy that doesn't compete very frequently or very much at all, and a guy that's not an IFBB pro, a guy that's not in the conversation when we talk about any of these big bodybuilding shows because he's not a pro. I think this guy has some of the most impressive genetics that I've seen on a bodybuilder. Like I said, that's not really that active of a competitor, and he's a guy that I would really like to see make it into the pro ranks. Particularly his upper body is incredibly impressive. The roundness that he has to his muscle bellies, his arms, I mean, the guy is just really, it's something you don't see every day. It's something that really you almost can't train for. It's that Phil Heath quality of muscle. And there's always that great bodybuilding debate. Some say it's all genetics. Some say it's all gear. Some say it's all training. But at the end of the day, genetics does play a heavy role, and I would really like to see him as a competitive pro. And I really think, looking at these physique updates, like I said, his upper body really impresses me. I think the one thing holding him back is pretty clearly his legs. If he can bring up his legs, I think he could have a real shot at one day getting a pro card. So that's really my thing, but I honestly think that he is a really impressive bodybuilder if he comes in shape. I think the last show that he did, that was the issue. I don't think he was in good enough shape for that one. But I just see this guy, every time he posts a training video, I'm like, man, this guy has so much potential. I mean, genetically, he's just so gifted. And you see it with a guy like Keon Pearson, but Keon obviously has figured out how to peak for a show. I mean, Keon is very complete. But when we talk about genetics and just having that God-given, just that it factor that a lot of people don't have, I would really like to see this guy do well. So shout out to Chris Hester. That's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did, in fact, enjoy it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, in fact, enjoy it. I wanted to thank everybody that sent me a kind message yesterday or the day before about my dog passing away. I really did appreciate it. It really meant a lot to me. Some of you guys really lifted my mood a little bit with some of the messages you guys sent me, so I do appreciate it. I know I wasn't able to respond to everybody, so if I haven't responded to you yet, I'm going to try to, but this video, at the end, I wanted it to serve as like a thank you to anyone that did message me. I really do appreciate it. I'm reading all of them. So thank you guys. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.